Welcome, dear listeners, to my channel. My name is John. Today, I will share with you my original science fiction story, and I promise that it will truly touch you to the core. The War Council chamber reeked of tension as Commander Kerouac entered, his crimson scales catching the starlight filtering through the observation dome. Every delegate present, Terran, Vorlani, even the stoic Meridians, shifted uneasily. The Draken commander stood over 3 meters tall, his muscular frame crowned with horns that had gored enemies in 100 battles. His people had dominated their sector through military supremacy for 6 centuries. Only one being didn't react to his presence. Dr. Iris Kovac remained at the conference table, her green eyes steady as they met the commander's vertical pupils. She was unremarkable by human standards, middle-aged, average height, wearing a simple gray jumpsuit. The other delegates had cautioned her that meeting a Draken war leader's gaze was an act of aggression. Iris had simply nodded and done it anyway. Dr. Kovac, Kerouac's voice rumbled like distant thunder, filtered through universal translators. The assembly claims you have knowledge of interspecies youth psychology. I find this claim suspect. The contempt was unmistakable. Humanity had joined the galactic community barely 80 years ago. The Draken Imperium had endured for millennia. Commander Kerouac may believe what he wishes, Iris replied calmly, neither hostile nor submissive. Though it seems curious he'd cross 2 sectors to meet with someone he considers irrelevant. A collective intake of breath. Several delegates glanced toward emergency exits. Kerouac's throat rumbled, the sound that preceded battle roars on 1,000 conquered worlds. But his pupils dilated slightly. Interest, perhaps. You don't tremble, human. I see no reason to, Commander. Respect isn't demonstrated through fear. Before Kerouac could respond, chaos erupted. The chamber's side entrance exploded inward as 3 Draken hatchlings burst through, their scales still soft and iridescent. Roughly human child-sized, they tumbled over each other with the clumsy enthusiasm common to all young predators. The lead hatchling, marked by distinctive gold patterns along her neck, spotted the assembled adults and froze. Her clutchmates slammed into her, creating a pile of thrashing tails and confused chirps. Then the gold-marked one saw Iris. The translator captured her delighted shriek, "Miss Iris!" What followed became legend. The hatchling charged across the polished floor, her siblings scrambling behind. Every instinct told the delegates to intervene, to save the human from razor teeth and crushing strength. Kerouac himself lunged forward, protective fury in his stance. But Iris was already moving, dropping to one knee with arms extended. The hatchlings hit her hard enough to bowl over a Vorlani, but Iris simply laughed. A genuine, joyful sound that seemed impossible in that austere room. The hatchlings immediately began their affectionate greeting ritual, carefully keeping their developing claws sheathed in a display that stunned every Draken present. Zara, Kesh, Ven, Iris greeted each by name, her hands checking their scale patterns with expert familiarity. "Weren't you 3 supposed to be with Nurse Trell during the summit?" Zara, the gold-marked one, pressed her snout against Iris's shoulder. "Missed your story time. Wanted to show you my new molt." Commander Kerouac stood frozen. His battle-ready posture crumbled into something his subordinates had never witnessed. Bewilderment. The Imperium's greatest warrior, who had personally conquered 12 worlds, watched his own offspring, hatchlings he'd sired himself, display absolute trust toward an alien. "Impossible," breathed one of Kerouac's adjutants. "Hatchlings imprint only on clutchkin. Our biology doesn't permit." Yet there it was, undeniable. Iris looked up at Kerouac, still surrounded by chirping hatchlings. "Commander, perhaps we should relocate. I believe your children want to discuss today's exploration games." Silence stretched. Kerouac's eyes tracked from Iris to his hatchlings and back. Every being present held perfectly still. Then the commander did something that would be analyzed in military academies for generations. He stepped backward. Not in defeat, not in surrender, but in acknowledgement that this unremarkable human wielded something his strength couldn't overcome. Hatchlings haven't bonded outside bloodkin in our recorded history, KRYX said quietly, his voice losing its battlefield edge. Our xenobiologists declared it genetically impossible. We are apex predators. We trust only family. Iris gently guided the hatchlings to settle beside her. Commander, I never demanded their trust. I simply offered them consistency and care. Care. KRYX pronounced it as though tasting unfamiliar food. Our language has no direct translation for that concept applied outside survival necessity. Perhaps that's precisely why they responded to it, Iris suggested softly. I've worked with 47 species young, Commander. I've learned that every child, regardless of claws, scales, or teeth, needs identical things: acknowledgement, safety, and the freedom to develop authentically. Dr. Kovac tells the best stories, Zara interjected, nuzzling Iris's hand, about brave explorers and honor and protecting those who can't protect themselves. KRYX's posture transformed. His officers recognized it immediately, his tactical reassessment stance. Dr. Kovac, the commander said formally, I attended this summit to reject the Assembly's proposal for your cross-species development initiative. I considered it typical human presumption, assuming comprehension of matters beyond your experience. Iris waited, one hand resting on Zara's neck ridge. I was mistaken. The admission clearly demanded effort from the proud commander. These hatchlings have flourished under your guidance in ways our own experts couldn't replicate. Zara exhibited aggression dysfunction before your program. His eyes softened fractionally. Now she requests stories before rest cycle. The delegates began murmuring. Draken imperial endorsement would revolutionize interspecies relations. Iris smiled, not triumphantly, but genuinely. Commander, I don't seek to replace your culture. I only want to help children become whoever they're meant to be. Warrior, diplomat, scientist, whatever resonates with their authentic nature. Even if their nature contradicts ancient tradition, especially then. KRYX stood motionless for an extended moment. Then he lowered himself to one knee, bringing his massive frame to Iris's eye level. The gesture sent ripples of shock throughout the chamber. Teach me, the commander said simply. Show me what you've shown them. And there, as the sector's most formidable predator humbled himself before a human who'd earned devotion without coercion, everything changed. Not through warfare, not through intimidation, but through the radical, transformative power of genuine compassion.